Hi there, beautiful souls watching. Thank you and welcome. I'm Gabrielle, retired medium in Germany, and I like to share some of my otherworldly experiences and insights. So, this one is about being molested by an imp like being. So, I some time ago visited a friend of mine, and she's half my age, so very young. And while we were sitting with a cup of tea and chatting about what happened in our lives and where we are right now and sharing some experiences, she told me that suddenly her depressions are coming back and she isn't feeling well and has itches and things in the body and mainly in the area of the neck and the shoulders, very tense and things like that. And she wasn't really content, but she did not understand why and where it came from, because she thought she already overcome her depressions, which she had much stronger when she was younger, and she really worked on that, growing her psychic senses and her working on her spirituality and her understanding. And on that kind of journey, she met a guy who was very much into working with the runes, the Nordic runes. Maybe you know about them a little bit. I came in contact with the runes once when I was with other friends, and somebody, just like a game, took out a little sack with stones where the runes were written on, and he wanted us to just throw the runes or take one and get a message via the rune symbol on this special rune we draw from, like from a card set. And the first thing that happened when he opened up the sack and poured them out onto the table where we all sat around was, I got the impression of the Nazis. And I felt kind of a Nazi guy beside me, very martial and all male force and willpower. Like he had this thing which with which some jockeys they hit their horses, which I dislike very much, and he had a thing like that, a little kind of whip thing in his hand, and he was always kind of hitting his leather boots with that, very, very demanding and forcefully. And I dislike that. And I know that the Nazis worked with some of the ancient old magical tools and abused them. So I just sent the Nazis away because I did not want that influence sitting on top of the runes and kind of tainting or distorting the meaning of the runes and the interpretation of whatever one was drawing, like a card from the rune game. So I know about the connection between the Nazis and the runes, and I also know about the curve from sacred geometry representing the female, the feminine. And the straight lines, they represent the masculine. And if you look at the runes, they are only masculine straight lines, and some's going like that or like that, but there is only straight lines and not a single curve. This gives me a lot to ponder, because that's only using one side and is working very heavily with willpower, might have the Nazi influence, and because it's not in unison with divine feminine, to me there's something missing. They are a good tool, but if men work with that and they go off on that, there's the trap of the ego, thinking it is him and the power is his. And what I learned from my medium teachers is you are just the conduit. What the real meaning of the word medium is, the intermediary between this world and maybe the spirit world, the heavens, or however you want to call that. So I'm aware of the trap of the male ego falling for just, the male power, straight lines and that. And I still like the runes. I've got nothing against it, but you got to be careful because they are really a very magical tool. And she was with this guy and having conversations and doing some exercises and working with the runes with him and his little group, sometimes in their garden. And she just came back from a meeting in the garden with all these runes interested people. And when she told me that she's not feeling well and got a lot of tension in her shoulders and her neck, and her depression is coming back, and her thoughts were kind of out of order, she couldn't think straightly, could not finish any thought to its end, I got a picture while she was talking to me. I suddenly got a flash picture in front of my inner eye, and I saw a little creature sitting in her neck, kind of trying to hide but also curious. So he came out behind her and looked at me. That's what they do. And that being looked a bit like an imp, I wasn't sure about what that was. Reminded me a bit of Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Very tiny, maybe only half of my size, and I'm 170 nearly. So a small being and with kind of gray color. And when I saw him, I said to her, I'm going to talk now, not to you, so don't listen or don't get into the conversation. I see somebody with you and I'm going to talk to that being. And she just nodded, and so I addressed this imp-like creature and said, I see you. What are you doing there? And he was kind of shocked that I saw him and I recognized him for what he was. And I said, you are doing harm to her, you are feeding off her energy, and by that you are interfering with cosmic law and you're acting against divine law to never harm and to never do something against the free will of another person. She surely does not want you there feeding off her energy and causing all these symptoms. So why are you there and why are you doing that? Don't you know that you're breaking divine law? The creature kind of crumbled a little bit because it did not like to be scolded like that by me. So by that reaction, I got the impression it's not really evil, it's just a bit mean. And okay, so there is the Latin saying in dubio pro reo, which means in doubt for the one accused. So I said to him, I know what you're doing and I see you and I warn you to go now and leave her alone, and I let you go. If I encounter you ever again doing the same thing and not learning that you're doing harm and not doing good, I will take other measures, and you better not want that. So poof, off the little creature went. And she already said, oh, the tension is gone and I feel much lighter and better. So then I sealed his entrance in her neck with white light and asked for some healing energy from Archangel Raphael to cure her bodily system and all her etheric bodies. And then we finished our tea chat and I went home. Now, you won't believe it. The same night, when I was again in my hypnagogic theta brainwave state, that little creature came again and brought his big brothers to kind of scare me back because I scared him. And he was coming, and after him, I saw coming giant Nordic figures looking like giants with beards. And it was as if they were walking in whirling snowflakes. And I got the name Aesir. So that's the name for the Nordic giants or the Nordic gods. I don't know what's the difference, or half gods. They did not feel evil as well, but they were very impressive, and they had a lot of masculine force because they were only men, not a single female with them. And I don't like, it's like as children on the schoolyard, if somebody bullied you, the next day you brought your bigger brother to kind of give that one a lesson because you couldn't, you were too small, so you brought your bigger brother. And it felt as if he was doing the same or trying to do the same with me. So I just looked at them, and they posed in front of me, a whole group of big, fat, tall giants emanating some white light, but I wasn't sure about them. Sorry, I don't trust them. And the behavior of their little creature, if it is with them and they're not able to control that creature to not do harm to humans, that gives me an idea about their mindset as well. So I only looked at them and I said, piss off. You cannot do anything to me. And if you start or want to bother with me, then I call in my big brothers and I call Archangel Michael, and you're gone with the wind in 1 second. And they just turned around, took their little creature, and went away. So, the lesson in here is whenever you feel you are molested by faces that you don't want to see, because they come up in meditation and people start seeing colors in meditation. And if they get it wrong, they think they have to suppress that seeing of colors or seeing of faces. Well, in meditation, you raise your vibration and you got to see more from the so-called beyond, the unseen, the invisible. And if something appears in front of you that does not feel good and you have no good feeling, then just call upon Archangel Michael to come and shield you and cut all the connections they try to instill in your etheric bodies and to send them away. So that's what I wanted to share today. Thank you for watching, and I hope it helps you in whatever situation you might need that. Thank you. Blessings, love, and light onto your path. Bye.